money, costume and love. Cameron was just a 10-year-old boy when his life changed drastically. The only son of a large shareholder of a famous wine brand, he lived surrounded by luxury and comfort. His parents were his world, always loving and present, providing him with a childhood full of love and joy. However, all of this was abruptly and tragically interrupted. On what seemed like an ordinary day, Cameron said goodbye to his parents who were leaving for a business trip. Little did he know that that goodbye would be his last. The plane carrying his parents suffered an accident and fell into the sea, disappearing without a trace. Cameron was orphaned and his life was filled with immense pain and a void that seemed impossible to fill. The tragedy left deep scars on Cameron. Fear took over him in an overwhelming way. He developed an intense phobia of flying and an aversion to the sea, both painful reminders of the accident that stole his parents. Although he had a considerable fortune and all the opportunities that money could buy, he limited himself to land travel, unable to overcome his traumas. Cameron grew up in Denver, a city far from the sea, where he felt safer. Even with all the money at his disposal, he was never able to fulfill his dream of seeing the world, always trapped by his painful memories and the fear of facing new horizons. Despite all his wealth and countless properties, Cameron felt extremely lonely. The vast mansion where he lived was always silent and empty, reflecting the emptiness he felt inside. His routine was marked by work at the wine company he inherited from his parents. Every day, he got up early, did his stretches, took a shower and went to the office. At work, Cameron found himself surrounded by people who fawned over him but didn't truly care about him. The company's shareholders, old men full of ambitions, saw him only as the heir to a fortune, not as a human being. Cameron felt the weight of his father's legacy and the pressure to maintain the company, even if it meant sacrificing his own dreams and desires. It was on his 35th birthday that Cameron had a profound revelation. Upon entering the company, he was surprised by a party organized by the shareholders, full of balloons and fake smiles. That spectacle made him realize how quickly his life was passing by, and he wasn't living for himself. While looking at an old photograph of his parents, Cameron reflected on the brevity of life and how his parents, at the same age he was now, were full of life and dreams. He understood that his parents would never have wanted to see him trapped in a life that was not his own. That moment of reflection made him make a radical decision. He determined it was time to change his life. On the spur of the moment, Cameron decided to take a one-way trip to the coast, something he had never had the courage to do. He bought a train ticket to Miami, a long and symbolic trip, representing his journey in search of freedom and self-knowledge. On the train to Miami, Cameron met Natalie, a simple and charming girl. She was having trouble getting her large rolling bag onto the train, and Cameron, ever kind, rushed to help her. It was love at first sight. Natalie had a laid-back manner and a natural beauty that immediately fascinated him. Sitting side by side, they spent hours talking. Cameron, afraid of being judged, said he was a dreamy painter, hiding his true identity as a millionaire heir. Natalie, in turn, said she was a recently graduated architect, nervous about the first job she would get in Miami. Natalie confided her fears and insecurities about her new job. She was afraid of not being accepted and not living up to expectations. Cameron reassured her that she was capable and that everything would work out. They exchanged phone numbers, promising to stay in touch. A few days later, Cameron and Natalie met on a beach. They spent the whole day talking, exchanging stories and dreams. The charm between the two grew, and they ended up falling in love. It was a magical day, where time seemed to not exist. That same night, under the moonlight, Cameron and Natalie gave themselves over to love. He took her to his beach house, pretending it was his boss's house. They spent the night together, further strengthening the connection they had. Natalie, wanting to repay Cameron's support, used the rest of her savings to enter one of his paintings into an art competition. She believed in Cameron's talent and wanted him to be recognized. However, This meant she would have to return home as she was out of money. Cameron won first place at the arts festival, an emotional moment for both of them. During his acceptance speech, Cameron decided to reveal the whole truth about his identity. He talked about his wealth, the trauma of losing his parents, and how Natalie helped him find a new purpose in life. In a gesture of love and gratitude, Cameron publicly declared his love for Natalie. He was grateful that she gave him the courage to follow his dreams and free himself from the past. Cameron donated the amount needed to renovate the theater, with the condition that Natalie be the architect responsible for the project. Determined to start a new life, Cameron sold all of his shares in his father's company. He moved to Miami, determined to follow Natalie's professional and personal growth. Together, they began to build a life based on love and freedom. Cameron and Natalie began a new phase of their lives, marked by true love and the courage to follow their dreams. Natalie's simplicity and determination transformed Cameron's life forever, showing him that true richness lies in the experiences and people we love. And so, Cameron's story, which began with tragedy, found a happy ending thanks to the transformative power of love. For more exciting stories, subscribe to our channel, and leave your like, it is very important to us. Until the next video.